Some people don't miss you. They miss the version of you that was easier to control, the version that stayed quiet, the version that didn't challenge expectations, the version that needed approval. And when you start changing, they call it rebellion. They call it selfishness. They call it pride. They call it that you are doing higi and haga, that you are disrespectful. They call it everything bad on the face of the earth. But sometimes it is none of those things. Sometimes it is simply growth. You are growing. We are growing. We are evolving. We are doing what needs to be done. Welcome to Igbo Queer and Unfiltered. My name is Charles Okeke. If you are new here, welcome. This is the Igbo Queer and Unfiltered podcast where we do what needs to be done, where we are living our life, not looking for permission, approval, validation, acceptance, or whatever they call it. We are living our lives on our own terms as LGBTQIA plus individuals. I am a gay Igbo man who is juicy, moisturized, hydrated, and unbothered. And I am not seeking for approval, for validation, for acceptance, for permission from anybody, not my parents, not my brothers, not my village people, not my country people. And that should be the same for you. Okay? We do growth here, and we are going to grow and grow and grow in every shape or form. Do your thing, because that version of you they want to control, they will never, ever be able to control. Hey, episode 70. Oh, we are doing it. 70 conversations, 70 evolutions, and we are doing what needs to be done. I am super grateful for how far I have come as a gay Igbo man who never knew that I will be able to live my life freely the way I am living it today. When I say freely, out of the shackles of my parents, my brothers, my sisters, and everybody, where I am able to just do my things and not care, where I am able to pay my bills, feed myself, take care of myself, and do all of the things that I want to do, even if it is not powerful, even if it's not wealth, but I am at peace of mind. I am so thankful that I am where I am today, because the truth of the matter is that I have outgrown. I outgrew the version of me they preferred, the version of me they are comfortable with, the version of me that is comfortable, the version of me that it's easier to manipulate, the version of me that is easier for them to control, the version of me that seeks validation, approval, and acceptance in places where I never got them. I have outgrown that, and that should be the same for you. And let me tell you, all this version of me they loved was the quieter version, the more obedient version, the less visible version, the easier version. And I'm saying all this to say that whenever you are dealing with people, especially if you are a queer person, and they want you to be in a place where you are performing for them, where they don't know who you are truly, where you are required not to be yourself, don't act it, don't be too much, just be that person that is miserable. That is not an environment for you. That is not a place you should be in. That environment is not healthy for you, because the truth of the matter is that growth changes you. It makes you into a better version of yourself. And if someone is not comfortable with you growing, then that person is not the right person for you. And not everyone will benefit from any change you are going to have, any growth you are going to have. The right people who are okay with it, who are going to benefit, who think that it is wonderful for you to be yourself, for you to grow, for you to succeed, for you to become a well-rounded human being, those people will be there and they will benefit from that, because they will get to know a better version of you that is honest to yourself, that is at peace with yourself, that is kind to yourself, that love yourself, and they will love you equally. If anyone is uncomfortable with all of these things, with all of you, then chap, go. Life is what it is. There is a lot of people in the world. I was saying to my man today, there's somebody a friend introduced me to a few years ago, and I haven't really heard from them for a long time. And I was worried because I'm always the one that is reaching out, and I haven't heard from this individual. So I tried to message, they did not reply. I called, they did not answer. And I don't know why. Somehow I do know why. The thing is that sometimes when you are the person that you are always reaching out and you are always trying to make things okay with people, and you are a good friend, you think, and sometimes people will begin to move mad based on certain things. And the reason why this person is not forthcoming anymore is because they found out that I'm gay. That's just it. But because of I know their situation and how life has been with them, I just wanted to know that they are okay, because it hasn't really been easy for them, but they have chosen not to speak to this Igbo homosexual. That is their problem. Okay? That is their problem. The comfortable version of you, the comfortable version of me. What does that look like? Every family, every community, every religious space has a preferred version of you. Think about it. Just sit. Think for a moment. Every family, every community, all of them, they have a preferred version of you. And that version is the agreeable one, the non-confrontational one, the one who doesn't challenge the scripture, the doctrine, the one who doesn't post too much on social media, the one who is not loud, the one who is not outspoken, the one who is not comfortable with their sexuality and their sexual orientation, the one who is trying to conform so badly. That version feels safe to them because it doesn't disrupt hierarchy. But safety for them often meant suppression for you. I want to make this clear, extremely clear. Safety for so many of these types of situations and people meant and will continue to mean suppression for you. Because what you're going to be doing to yourself is that you are going to be bending yourself backwards to fit into a box that you don't belong into in the first place. You are going to be shrinking yourself forever and ever for people who care nothing about you. Why would I want to do that for myself? Why would I want to do that to myself? I will not do that to myself. It was making me so crazy. I've said this before. I struggle so much through lying and trying to be somebody that I'm not. And it became too much for me. I couldn't take it anymore. The lying, the giving names of different types of girls that I was dating. Meanwhile, I was sleeping with different types of men. I was giving names and scenarios that has to do with women. And I was missing opportunities because I didn't want people to know that I'm gay. I didn't want to have these conversations. And that wasn't a good place for me. That was horrible. Why do you want that for yourself? Nobody freaking want that. The truth of the matter is that growth creates friction. It does in so many ways because some people may not like it. Some people will like it. Some people will think it's controversial. Some people will think that you are exceeding their expectations and things like this. But the thing is that when you evolve, you ask harder questions. You set firmer boundaries. You live more openly. You speak more directly. This is a living example of that. I have set firmer boundaries for myself. I have asked the harder questions, especially when I've had confrontations with some of the people that are higgy and haga that are supposed to be in my life. When this happens, suddenly what they say to you, what you hear is that you have changed. You have changed. Absolutely, yes, I have, because that is the point. Because that is what it is supposed to be. Growth is change. But what they often mean is you are no longer as manageable. You are no longer as malleable. You are no longer a thing for them to control. And manageability is not a virtue, okay? Because they cannot manage you anymore. They don't have that control over you anymore. Because of that, it is a problem. I remember a particular conversation I had with someone that is related to me. We'll call them a relative because I've known them for like ages. And this conversation I had with them was similar to the conversations I had with my brothers and with my sisters as well. But there's a particular thing that happened to me a few years ago. This was in London when a friend of mine I had known for like a couple of years. My brother got to find out something about him, like found out that the person knew me and they were like, how did you know this person? And things like this. There was so many things that was said to me that day that I was so shocked about. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect in this situation because I have my own troubles as well. Sometimes you can be disrespectful towards people, because everybody will see things in their own way, if you know what I mean. But I understand that I might have been disrespectful, maybe without knowing, maybe I was not, because people want you to respect them in the way they want you to respect them, if you know what I mean. But certain things were said. And in that moment, I realized how they saw the growth in me, where I was going to, and how they are not going to ever be able to bend me the way they want and manage me how they want, and for me to do the things that they want me to do in the way they say it. Because when people are in a religious setting and they see everything in a one-dimensional way, it can be a massive problem. Whatever you are doing, they think is against their God and against their religion becomes a problem. And some of the things that was said to me that day was really, really horrible. And the only thing I did was that I was talking to a man and I didn't do anything that was extremely horrible or disrespectful. And another thing that I did was I was there at the time and I was always going out and coming back, and that was it. You get what I'm saying? And it was enough for me to be told so many things that are extremely horrible that I would not even say to a stranger. And in where I am today, I have gotten to a point where some of those things are not things that I look back on again. The reason why I'm sharing this story is that understand that if you are going to start living your life honestly, truthfully, and unapologetically, you are going to have to deal with certain people who may be your family, your friends, and relatives, and things like this, that you may have to use an iron fist and set a firmer boundaries and keep to that boundaries. If they don't want to respect it, so be it. Because if you are growing as a human being, you are going to have situations like this. You are going to have people, for instance, if you have the audacity to be on social media, they will say a lot of things to you. Like the person said, thunder fire you. No ever mention Igbo man with this your mouth. You should be ashamed of yourself and hide your face under your bed in shame if this is what Igbo culture teaches you. And I replied to them, I said, thunder can't touch what my ancestors had. Thunder can't touch what my ancestors already protected. Have a good one. This is the thing. A lot of these people have conflated religion and culture and a lot of things, and they feel like the Igbo culture, that homosexuality and queerness was never in the Igbo culture, was never in the African culture. I know I went on a tangent there, but this needs to be said because a lot of these people are so weird. And the reason why I brought this as well is that some of these people look at things through the cultural lens, right? And sometimes they don't really understand their culture in ways where they are supposed to understand it. But in many African contexts, conformity equals respect. And a lot of them think that I am disrespecting the Igbo culture by saying that I'm a gay Igbo man, but I'm not, because homophobia was imported. But that's a different conversation. And that's a conversation I've had here so many times in so many versions. And the thing is that respect equals silence and silence equals stability. So when you become more autonomous, especially as a queer person, it feels destabilizing to others in that culture. They may interpret your growth as being rebellious, but at the end of the day, autonomy is not disrespect. Having autonomy doesn't mean you are being disrespectful towards anybody. It means you are an adult. It is adulthood. It means you know your left from your right. It means you know what you want and what you don't want from anybody. It means that you are not ready to take disrespect for people. It means that your humanity will not be played with. It means that you don't feel ashamed of who you are. It means that you are emotionally mature. Okay? You are allowed to evolve beyond the expectations you were born into. You are allowed to do that. Have I been misunderstood? Absolutely. I have been misunderstood so many times in so many ways. And sometimes it can be really, really painful when this happens. And sometimes you just look at it and you're like, okay, that's fine. That's what you want. And that's your problem. But outgrowing old versions of yourself can be lonely. It can be that because some relationships were built around who you used to be. And when that changes, the dynamic shifts. And I have pointed out this already in so many ways where some of the people that knew me, some of them withdrew from me, the way they related to me, the way they spoke to me, and the way they acted and things like this. I understood that those dynamics changes and all of the things. But I am still going to live my life. I am still going to be me. I am still going to do what I need to do for myself that brings me joy, that brings me happiness. But the truth of the matter is that sometimes people cling on to the memory of you instead of meeting the reality of you. I experienced this in so many ways. My brother has my picture in his house. Like, he's so proud of me, my graduation picture and all of the things. And I know maybe he's removed them now that I'm a homosexual, because that version of me that he preferred is no longer that version. I don't know. I haven't been to his house in ages. I don't go there anymore. But maybe that's the case for him. But the thing is, if somebody really, really loves you, they will love you. But the truth of the matter is that when this happens, it really, really hurts. It really, really hurts when all of the above happens. But the thing is that shrinking back to maintain comfort hurts even more because it will hurt you mentally, emotionally, and otherwise. From my personal experience of trying as much as possible to shrink myself, to conform, to live the way they want me to live, it was never okay for me. It was not a good place for me to be. And that is why I am living my life unapologetically and honestly. Becoming me, becoming the person that I defined for myself, it's wonderful for me. Because when you stop performing and you stop performing the preferred version of yourself, something stabilizes internally. You stop rehearsing. You stop filtering excessively. You stop seeking constant reassurance. You become less reactive. Yeah. You become extremely self-assured. And self-definition replaces any external noises and information you can ever get because you know who you are within yourself. And I am going to tell you this, that feels extremely solid because nothing is going to shake you. Nothing is going to move you. You will feel extremely firm where you are. Outgrowing doesn't mean you hate them. It doesn't mean you dislike anything, you dislike anybody. Because outgrowing doesn't require resentment. You can always appreciate who you were. Because that version of me was what it was. And I was kind to that version of me. But I did not know better. I think that a lot of us tend to not understand sometimes why we were the way we were. But you can understand why you adapted the way you did. You can even empathize with those who preferred the older version of you, which I do. I've said this before, that a lot of the people who actually do not mean well, who actually stopped speaking to me, who said I should go to hell, even the ones who said that they are going to unalive their child if they find out that their child is gay. I empathize with them. I do. But empathy doesn't require regression. I'm not going to go back to my former self because I empathize with you. All I'm going to always do is move forward. And I am moving forward with no malice, with no bitterness, with no bitter feelings at all. I wish you well, but I'm moving ahead into the light because that's where we need to be. And I was saying this to a friend of mine. I said, my friend was like, Charles, that is maturity. And I said to him, are you sure? He said, yes, that is maturity if you think about it that way. And I said to him, you know that I don't feel mature. Sometimes, like in my head, sometimes I feel like I'm 18. I don't feel mature. I don't know. He said, that's maturity. Because I've had these conversations with so many of my friends in so many different ways where we talked about these things and sometimes it feels heavy. You know, because a lot of us queer people somehow carry some form of trauma. It may be very, very little, but you do. Especially if you are a queer person of African descent or a queer person from Africa. It is crazy. But we are going to continue living our lives no matter what. Yeah. And I was like, okay, if you say I'm mature, I want to say something. Actually, if you feel yourself changing, but you are scared of what that will cost you, I need you to ask yourself a really simple question. Are you evolving into integrity or shrinking into comfort? Ask yourself that. Because whether you like it or not, growth always and will continue to disrupt something. But the question is the disruption what the alignment? Most of the time it is. It is what everything. And what I am doing for myself today, tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, in the future, is that I will continue to still evolve. I will continue to think on how to make myself better. I will continue to choose myself, self-alignment, self-permission, and things like this over external approval. I will continue to know that there is nothing wrong with me. I will continue to keep growing. Even the fact that I know that not everyone is going to clap for me, I will continue to do that. Because the moment you realize that the growth internally, the peace of mind you have, the self-alignment you have, the comfort you have for living in your truth is bigger than every other thing, you will be fine. And I want each and every one of us who is listening to this, who is an LGBTQIA plus individual, to always know that you are allowed to grow. You can empathize with somebody who thinks that you shouldn't grow, but don't regress. Do not go back to that place where you are making yourself miserable and small. You are the light. You are put on this earth for a reason. You are wonderful. You are amazing. You are the reason why this world is the way it is, which is doing everything that is wonderful for the life of people to be easier. We LGBTQIA plus individuals do this. I want you to always know that you are not a mistake, that you are not a taboo, that you are wonderful. Thank you so much for listening. This has been Igbo Queer and Unfiltered podcast. I have been Charles Okeke. Have a wonderful time. Thank you so much for joining the Movement for Visibility, Truth and Representation. Have a wonderful time. I will see you in the next episode.